Hello everyone! Today we're going to be talking about a common bird in our area. Now you probably know this and refer to this bird as the blue jay, but in this area it's called the California scrub jay. They're the same bird, just with two different names. Now, the California scrub jay is extremely common. You guys definitely know this bird, even if you don't know that you know this bird. So this bird is blue, right? Hence the blue jay name. And it's got a blue head with blue back and blue wings. Its belly is like a very light gray, looks so soft, has a black beak with a little hook on the end, and then it's got a black eye area. And it always kind of looks like it's hunched over and kind of curiously looking at whatever's going on. So you know how if you know what an egret is, like a tall white bird, or a swan with its long neck, that's how regal it looks. Well, this guy, the California scrub jay, always looks like, what are you doing? What's going on over here? And that's exactly how their behavior is. So before I get into that, I want to show you a couple pictures of the California scrub jay so we're on the same page. So as I was saying, their behavior is very confident and inquisitive. They really want to know what is going on. I often have scrub jays coming to kind of investigate what I'm doing in the garden. I'll be digging in a raised bed, or digging with a shovel, and they'll come fly to a branch near me and look at me. What are you doing? You digging anything good up? Can I have it? Got any grubs? Right? Or a lot of the time it seems like they're yelling at me. Like, why are you yelling at me? But their call is not as gentle and loving sounding as maybe another kind of bird, like a songbird. The scrub jay's call sounds kind of aggressive. So I'm gonna play the call for you in just a moment. See how it kind of sounds like he's yelling? I wonder if I keep playing this, if I'll call any over. I'll just play it in the background. So surely you've heard that, right? Kind of sounds like, who is yelling in the trees and why are they yelling? But that's just the way they sound, unfortunately. Though I don't mind it too much. Now, a lot of the time you'll see them, we definitely see them in the gardens here. You'll probably see them in your backyard, especially at a bird feeder. They are, again, kind of this like very confident, not aggressive bird, but a bird that says, that bird feeder? Oh yeah, that's my bird feeder. And so you'll see them in the gardens, probably at your home in your backyard. You'll see them in wooded areas. They nest and they live in trees. A lot of the time they'll find their food in or around trees. So you probably wouldn't see them at the beach unless the beach has a lovely wooded area. Wooded meaning there's going to be trees. So you'll need trees to be seeing the scrub jays. And one of the wonderful things about especially this area, the Bay Area where we have our school, is that we've got a lot of trees, and our suburb area, even the neighborhoods, a lot of the houses have trees, and our parks are very filled with trees. So we get a lot of birds, and in turn we get a lot of these California scrub jays. So like I was mentioning earlier, they eat just a wide variety of food. They are omnivorous, which means they are omnivores, and that means they are not just herbivores. They don't just eat plants, and they're not carnivores, meaning they just eat animals. They are omnivores, meaning they eat both animals or living things, animals and plants. So some examples of things they'll eat are going to be like grubs, any kind of insect really, spiders, slugs, snails. Sometimes they eat acorns and obviously bird seeds or seeds that are around. Sometimes they even eat small reptiles, or they'll eat the eggs of other birds, which is kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. But I think that food for them, the eggs of other birds, is a little bit more uncommon. Most of the time they're going to be eating things that are readily available for them. Now, I was also mentioning that they live near trees because they nest in the trees. So they build their nests, and these nests are pretty sturdy compared to other nests that birds build. Like hummingbirds' nests are very thin, and there's a lot of fluff to them, whereas the California scrub jay nests are going to be made out of twigs and sturdy grasses, all woven together. And both the male and the female, as they have mate for a year, they will build the nests together, which is really wonderful. Inside the nest, they'll generally line it with either animal fur, maybe some other feathers that they found, some really soft grasses, and to keep their little eggs and their little babies all snuggly and warm, which is so sweet. So generally speaking, the adult pair will only have one brood or group of babies per year. Sometimes they have two, but most of the time it's just one. And their eggs are very little, and they're light green. Sometimes they have speckles on it, but most of the time they're just a very light bluish green color. And they lay anywhere between 2 to maybe even 7 eggs at a time, depending probably on the conditions around them. Do they have enough food? Are there favorable weather conditions? The babies can leave the nest around 18 to 22 days after hatching, which is pretty quick, right? If you think about it, when you are 18 or 22 days old, you were just floppy. And you slept most of the time. However, the parents will generally keep feeding the baby scrub jays, or the young scrub jays rather, for another month before they kind of go out on their own and really exist on their own. Now I'm hearing a lot of bird calls around me, and when I actually started filming this video for you, I was hearing a scrub jay. And I was like, come over. So I'm gonna hopefully be able to get you guys some footage of the scrub jays in our garden. If I just go garden, one will probably pop up. So why might we want to encourage blue jays or invite blue jays or California scrub jays into our garden? Well, there's a couple reasons, but the main one is that this is their habitat, right? We've got lots of wonderful trees in the garden, and just that alone should be a wonderful reason to have them, is we've created a habitat for them. Another more self-serving reason would be that they're going to eat our bugs. So they won't eat all of the bugs, but a lot of the times our plants are kind of attacked or even devastated by slugs, really, and snails. And these California scrub jays are going to happily eat the slugs and snails. So if we encourage them by planting trees or, planting all these wonderful foods that then attract slugs and snails that will attract the scrub jays, then we have this kind of wonderful symbiotic relationship. Now, for those of you who are not in 3rd grade yet, you might not know what a symbiotic relationship is. It's a relationship where two parties, two people, two creatures, two organisms are in a relationship with each other, and they're both benefiting. So an example would be, we are planting collard greens, let's say, and the slugs are coming. We don't want the slugs, but we want our collard greens. Well, we're planting something that attracts slugs. The scrub jays come and eat the slugs, and we're providing them a home. We're providing them a service, which is, here's some food and here's a home. And they're providing us a service, which is, I'll eat your slugs. So we're in this relationship with each other that is reciprocal. we're giving back to each other in an equal way, and we're both happy with it. It's a symbiotic relationship. So that's one big reason why we want to encourage birds, especially California scrub jays, into our garden. Now, one last reason is that we want the goal of, I think, conserving or working with nature in a responsible, sustainable way is to protect and encourage biodiversity. Now, what does that mean? Biodiversity basically just means that there are lots of living things that are all different than each other. So just as there are lots of different looking humans, and we call that diversity, we also call a bunch of different organisms or different living beings living in one area biodiverse. So instead of just planting just collard greens in the entire garden, and the entire garden is a collard green field, that's not very diverse, right? That's only collard greens. Whereas if we're planting collard greens, and then we're planting kale, and then we're planting garlic, and then we're planting cherry trees and plum trees and all these different things, and all those things that we're putting in encourages all these different organisms, slugs, snails, scrub jays, crows, gophers, all these other creatures to come in, then our garden is going to be extremely diverse, biodiverse. Now, why would you want that? Well, an ecosystem that is biodiverse is going to be a strong ecosystem. So if I just, let's go back to that collard green example, just planted collard greens everywhere, and then the collard green beetle or worm or caterpillar came in and decided, ah, yes, this is what I will eat. And then its population explodes, and there's these detrimental pests everywhere. My garden's going to go from being this collard green field to nothing really fast. Whereas if you have this diversity, plants are working together, plants and animals are working together, animals are working together, and they're all working with us, the gardeners, then we are a lot stronger. If that whatever's going to hurt that collard green comes in and starts to decimate the crops, well, guess what? It's going to encourage that California scrub jay or other birds to come in and eat that. So we all keep everything in balance, and it becomes this really beautiful relationship where we're all working together. Biodiversity means we can all work together because there's so many of us, and we all fill these little niches, which is another science word, all these little specific jobs, right? We can't have everyone be a doctor, can't have everyone be a teacher. Some people have to be a doctor, some people have to be a teacher, some people have to be the garbage man, some people have to be the garden teacher, right? People have to fill all these different jobs, just like all these organisms in the garden have to fill these different jobs. And the job of the California scrub jay for us is to eat our bugs, which we say, thanks, California scrub jay, you're a real one.